what time it is. You know what day it is. You know what's up. It is Funky Friday. Come on. Come on. Get it up. Come on. Yeah. Get it out. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey. Funky Friday on the Morning Night Live. Yes, it's a new show, but sometimes you just gotta appreciate the funk. And today, the funk, and when I mean funk, I mean like dirty, down, nasty, just smell it, sweat under your pits, funk. Like a lot of the news we read every day. Hard to get funky on a tractor. Well, Uncle Bad Touch, you just gotta find a way. Anyway, it is the Morning Night Live. I'm happy you're here. Perhaps we should get the show started by playing the intro. Johnny, do the honors, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight.
And stop that music and bring back this music. It is Funky Friday on the Morning Night Live. I'm glad you're here. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight. And this is the Morning Night Live on this lovely Friday, the 8th of October, 2021. And, on Funky Friday, sometimes I just gotta have that beat, that thing in the background. Hopefully I get the levels right and we have some fun. Now, if you haven't done so already, please share the stream. Hit the like button if you like what we do. Sit back, relax with your cup of reparations. Yes, I got the Big Daddy cup on Funky Friday. And we'll do that thing, right? We'll do that thing. Also, I'm trying to be quiet because Mom's asleep up there. But she's in my house. I'm not in her basement. I'm in my own basement. She's just visiting. Anyway, hopefully you will enjoy the show today. We got sometimes I just need this to make the news a little more palatable, because I gotta tell you, there's just always some stupid shit going on, and that's what I'm here for, to tell you what stupid shit's going on. Hopefully it doesn't ruin your weekend. By the way, I hope you have some great weekend plans. While my mother's in town, we are going to go to New Ulm, Minnesota, which has the biggest Oktoberfest celebration in Minnesota. It's a little town just in South Central Minnesota, that is. It was a German settlement. A lot of German heritage in the town. The Shell Brewery is there, and they have the biggest Oktoberfest celebration down there. So we're going to go down there and enjoy some of the products of the Shell Brewery and enjoy just some German heritage stuff. We've never been there. We've always heard it's a fun time, so we're going to go check that out. And then Sunday, we're going to celebrate Lady Boomer's mom's 80th birthday. So Mama Boomer, or well, Grandmama Boomer, I don't know what y'all call her. I think you call her Mama Boomer. Mama Boomer, who is a little bit pre-boomer, but that's okay, is celebrating her 80th birthday. So we're going to have a nice little celebration for her. And in the meantime, I might actually get my lawn mowed and get a couple other things done. But anyway, hopefully we're going to have a good time celebrating with some beers and some German potato salad, some brats, and some knackwurst, and whatever else kind of stuff they have down there. I have no idea what to expect. I got to be honest with you. I know there's going to be a lot of people in lederhosen and those, goofy dresses with the, push-up stuff and things like that. So we're just going to go see what it's like and check it out, and hopefully we'll have a good time. All right. So, is my music level okay? Is it too distracting, or is it downright? I'm trying to get it to a decent level here. Let me hang on a second here. There, we're going to turn it down to about there. That should be good. If I need to turn it up, I will do that. All right, shall we now? So the title today, which was a setup. So we've been talking a lot about that letter. Remember that letter we read the other day? I apologize for not getting those tabs back up. I'll try to get those back up over the weekend. But that letter we read the other day from the National, what do they call themselves? The National School Board. It's the National School Board Association. What are they called? The National School Board Association. So they were asking the Biden administration and Merrick Garland in particular to come down and take care of some of these terrorists coming to the school board meetings. Remember they were saying that these people were domestic terrorists and white supremacists and all that. Well, something strange about that whole thing, and it didn't click at me until I read this article, but then I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird. What's really weird is how quickly Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States of America, how quickly he responded to that letter. I mean, he had things ready to go, and it was crazy, right? He had a directive and said, we're going to do this and that, and we're going to send some people out, we're going to have a task force. How quickly he put that together after that letter came out, because it was like, it seemed like almost the next day, right? And, there's a reason behind that, and that's what the name of the stream is about. It was a setup. But before we get to the setup, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat. Real quick, I got our first sponsor of the day, Baby Foz. Oh, I'm not even ready for that. I'll talk about that in a minute. Hang on a second. I just realized that I am remiss in being prepared. Give me a second here, and I will be more prepared. There's that. There's that. There's that. Volume up, and we are ready to go. Thank you, Baby Vaso, for sponsoring the show. First sponsor of the day, who says, wait, what did I turn down here? Wait, where's this go? This goes here. So that was up there. Okay, I just couldn't hear. Oh, I couldn't hear because of that. Thank you, Baby Vaso, sponsors the show with a bullet. It says, scratching my head in 2021, there exists people who believe store brand labeled items are actually made by the store. It's something that I don't subconsciously think about because for me, it's obvious they aren't. But when someone gets mad at an out-of-stock item is baffling. People believe store brand labeled items are actually made by the store? Really? I didn't know that. It's funny because we have a Malto-Meal is based out of Northfield, Minnesota, which is just 30 miles south of here. And Malto-Meal makes a lot of different cereals, and they have a whole line of store products that they make the same cereal for the stores, and they put them in giant bags and they sell them in bulk and stuff like that. So I didn't know people thought that, but maybe they do. I don't know. And there's I know up here, for example, if you go to Costco and you buy Kirkland products, those are the Costco brand, but they're always made by somebody else. And in fact, the Kirkland vodka is, I want to say it's made by the same company that makes Grey Goose. It's You buy Kirkland vodka, their cheap, big-ass bottle of vodka, you're getting the same premium vodka that you would get if you were buying Grey Goose. I don't know if it's the exact same brand, but it's like same process. It's fun. It's really great, and it's cheap compared to buying the special pretty bottles of whatever you buy. So anyway, thank you, Baby Vaza, for sponsoring the show once again. Now, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat, because I feel like I've been remiss in so long. Now, I know, Somnambule Nation, I know you said that maybe we should just give Jesse Leon the bell, but you know what, Somnambule Nation, you were here first, and I have to just be how I am and give you the bell because you were here first. Thank you for being in the chat and being first and joining the spot. However, I'm also going to honor your wishes because, you just happen to be ready. And Jesse Leon, Somnambule Nation says, this bell's for you. So for being just barely second, because it was a pretty quick spot there. So anyway, so good morning, Jesse Leon, too. Also, good morning to Jonathan Peterson, Select a Boy. Yeah, good morning also to Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. James Colley's in the house. Also, good morning, sort of in the house. James Colley's lurking this morning because he says no funny business while I'm gone. So don't know funny business while James Colley's gone. Also, good morning to, where am I at here? Okay, Avocados Dalvin, the Devil's Advocate. Good morning, Patrice Ripley, the official K-pop aficionado of the Morning Night Live. Also, good morning, Tyler F. To Ryan Deos. Good morning, K. Shaw's in the house. Nobody, not me. Uncle Bad Touch. We know who you really are.
Come on, man.
Also, good morning, Attack Alpaca. As I scroll down here, Lord Stanhope. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mike Savage. Blarg. Also, good morning, Richo, my friend from down under. Also, good morning to. You've been chatting up a storm. I'm the Asian Research Director. It's in the house. Nice to see you. Also, good morning, Cindy Oberg. I've missed you, Cindy. I wonder where you were. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning. Also, good morning, DI Freighter Watcher. And if you are just lurking in the background, that's fine. Just enjoy the show. If you're working, driving, working, driving, thriving, please keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road or that piece of heavy equipment that you're driving, especially if it's a tractor. So anyway, Beet Vodka Rhea, $27 a liter. Russian Standard is a close second, $25 to $30 a handle. Yeah, I tell you what, the Sam's Club and Costco have a store brand vodka that is as good as any vodka you can buy. It's quite surprising. So, a couple more people here. Good morning, Always Lost and Nothing Else, AK Alone. Good morning, TC. How you doing? And I think that's the people who are the other people looking. 26 people in the house, 10 likes. Hit the like button. Share the stream before, during, and after the stream. It always helps. And then also, you can sponsor the show through YouTube Super Chats down below. Or if you watch the show on PDawgKnight.live or go to PDawgKnight.live, you can do it through Streamlabs. That way you don't give 30% to Susan. There's other ways to sponsor the show down below. So there you go. Wait a minute. Wait. I see the... Is it Richo's birthday? Oh my goodness. Okay, hold up. Please stop the music. Richo, I know you hate it when people sing happy birthday, but I'm sorry. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Richo. Oh, it's Check Your Logic who hates to sing the birthday song. Okay, never mind. Happy birthday to you. A happy 40th birthday, a milestone for everybody. We're so happy that you are on this earth for 40 years, Richo. Nice to have you here. And also thank you for being a regular supporter of the show. And I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Glad you made it to 40. And, I hope you're not. I imagine you might be celebrating right now. I know how that goes. But happy birthday, brother. All right, back to the show. All right, let's get into the show here because I have a whole bunch of bookmarks. I was up a little too early this morning, especially since I'm not working at UPS this week. But I was up early anyway because it's hard to sleep in, and I was bookmarking just all kinds of stuff on Twitter. So we're gonna go through my Twitter bookmarks plus a couple other stories that I found that just kind of made me mad. But the theme of the show today, at least the first theme, was Twas a setup. So, like I said, when the National School Board Association wrote that letter asking the Biden administration to classify any parents who come and protest at school board meetings terrorist, now I know that's a little bit slightly mildly hyperbolic, but it is kind of what they did. They wanted Homeland Security, the Justice Department, the FBI, the Patriot Act invoked on these parents who are just coming to school board meetings telling these motherfuckers that they don't want the shit that they're doing, right? And so what's fascinating is how quickly the administration responded to that request, to that letter, to that, inquiry. Merrick Garland's out like a day later saying, here's what we're going to do. And it's like, wait a minute, you just got this letter and it's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, constantly complaining of violence. You know how words are violence. Everything that they don't like is violence and white supremacy and white nationalists and, hate groups, right? Because if you don't agree with the narrative, you don't agree with what they want to do I was going to say, I can't decide if I want to say if you don't agree with what they want to do to your children or with your children. It's kind of the same, right? But they want to indoctrinate your children. They do not want parents to have any say. Remember how Terry McAuliffe said, parents think they have the right to tell people what we want to teach their children, or they want you to teach their children? Well, hey, Terry McAuliffe, parents absolutely have the right. They absolutely have the right to have a say in what they teach your children. Why wouldn't they? That'd be ridiculous if they didn't. But anyway, real quick, let me think. Baby Vaso, thank you again for sponsoring the show, who says, Glenn Beck is begging people when food shortages began to emerge not to panic buy. I'm thinking, where has he been in 2020 and 2021? When you have a food sale at the grocer, people sit outside 20 minutes before opening to hoard it during the good times. By the way, I don't want to make a panic myself. Thank you, Baby Fazo, for sponsoring the show again. I don't want you to panic, but you may want to start just having a little backup plan supply, maybe in the extra cupboard or the closet in the guest room or the fridge or wherever you can store under the, I don't know, put it in plastic bags under the bed. Have some dry stock ready because there's a big supply problem happening right now. A lot of these ships are sitting out in the oceans. They're having a hard time getting them unloaded because there's a worker shortage. All these high-paying jobs and no one wants to work them. It's amazing. All right, let's get back to. And thank you again for sponsoring the show, Baby Fazo. Here's the thing we're talking about here now. So the Biden administration caught colluding to silence America's parents, and radio host Mark Levin has the receipts. Quote, the federal government is using its power to silence and intimidate American citizens, said conservative talk radio host and author Mark Levin, who released a bombshell letter on his program Thursday. They're trying to chill free speech. Oh, it's a shocker, isn't it, that they would want to kill free speech of parents? But anyway, the letter from the nonprofit organization American First Legal to the United States Inspector General claims, quote, in light of the Attorney General's memorandum of October 4th, 2021, it appears the Department of Justice is committing the full weight of its federal law enforcement resources to prevent parents from exercising constitutionally protected rights and privileges for inappropriate partisan purposes. Sounds spot on, doesn't it? The AFL says it's an inside job by key Biden administration stakeholders, including the National Education Association, the American Federation of Teachers. Oh my gosh, the teachers unions? Really? By the way, good morning, Renee Mayette. How you doing? And I think I said hi to TC. TC, were you here earlier? And I said hi? I think so. I don't see your... There it is. I did say hi to you. Okay, good. So anyway, let's go back to this. The AFL says it's an inside job at key Biden administration stakeholders, including the National Education Association, the American Federation of Teachers, and others, who have combined to oppress, threaten, and intimidate parents to chill and prevent them from exercising the rights or privileges secured by the Constitution. To date, these efforts, though extensive, have generally proven ineffectual because, remember, the American Teachers Federation, they're like, oh yeah, we want you to stop these parents from complaining about mask mandates and critical race theory, blah blah blah. Well, it just wasn't any insiders. AFL believes high-ranking officials in the Biden White House staff and the Department of Justice have been meeting since early September to collude not only in the writing of Attorney General Garland's memorandum, but to develop a plan to use a letter from an outside group. An outside group? Other than the teachers' unions? Interesting. As a pretext for federal action to chill, deter, and discourage parents from exercising their constitutional rights and privileges. In other words, what's this group called again? The America First Legal? In other words, they say the Biden administration was in on the unconstitutional effort to mitigate the political impact of parent mobilization at school board meetings and organization around school issues like critical race theory and mask mandates in the upcoming midterm elections all along. And who was that outside group? Well, that would be the National School Board Association. Remember them in their September 29th letter, which we read 2 days ago, calling America's concerned parents domestic terrorist? In fact, I'll put that article back up. It was referenced in here. So now we know why we've never heard of the National School Board Association before. During the White House and the DOJ meetings, So now we know why we've never heard of the National School Board Association before, because during the White House and the DOJ meetings, they plan to send a letter not from the usual suspects, meaning the leftist teachers unions, but from the NSBA, which is supposed to represent America's parents. And now the AFL suggests that the short time for the AG's memorandum to be written and made public after the NSBA's letter was sent to Biden is suspect as well. Here's the quote. The short time frame between the September 29th letter and the Attorney General's memorandum suggests that either the entire matter was pre-coordinated and the September 29 but pretext, or that the normal clearance process and standard order both within the department, including legal sufficiency review by the Office of Legal Counsel, the Civil Rights Division, the Criminal Division, the Office of Legal Policy, and other components, and between the department and the White House counsel's office and the Office of Management and Budget, were either bypassed or corrupted, meaning this was planned well in advance. And so they have all these different divisions that have put their 2 cents in such a short time after this letter. It's just amazing how responsive our federal government is. Because, anytime you bring something to the attention of the federal government, they immediately respond every single time. And they always have everyone ready to go. Oh, wait. That's bullshit. Anyway, but wait, there's more. According to the America First Legal, the Biden administration didn't stop at intimidating American citizens. It taught those same officials how to skirt the law to further implement the very school issues parents are concerned about. Quote, on October 5th, there was a follow-up call involving inter alia, the White House counsel's office, a Biden political appointee in the Civil Rights Division, and many other Biden administration political and career officials. The briefing included how to talk about equity. When you hear the word equity, run. Equity initiatives, avoid liability for violating discrimination laws, and hide equity measures. When you hear the word equity, run. And action from freedom of information disclosure. So how to avoid making disclosures that were requested under the Freedom of Information Act. Wow, they were talking about how to avoid that stuff. Oh, aren't they special? Clearly, the National School Board Association letter and the AG's memorandum were fishy from the get-go, and it's not yet clear exactly who was involved, but if standard processes and legal practices were broken by the Biden administration in order to weaponize the federal government to intimidate and silence American citizens in the name of politics, there needs to be an immediate investigation to hold all participants to account, and that includes the big guy.
Come on, man.
Now, let's hope there's at least one trustworthy Inspector General left at the Department of Justice who will take up this case. America's looking at you, Michael Horowitz. So anyway, they're bullshit. They're so dirty. They're so dirty. Oh, and this is okay. So this is kind of. Is this that swamp that President Trump used to talk about? One of the things that I think one of his failures as president, and I appreciate President Trump and some of the stuff, most of the stuff he did, but I think one of his biggest failures was to actually do a giant cleaning of the swamp. I mean, he needed to just clear things out, and I hope the next Republican president who may be Trump or may not, I don't know. That I'm not necessarily in favor of him running. I think there should be someone else who's smart and not that Trump's not smart. I'm not saying that he's not smart, but someone else who may be able to just bridge the gap between those conservatives who are skeptical of Trump, even though I think Trump's ideas are his actual policies spot on. But someone who can do it without maybe the high degree of division that's not Trump's fault, but he brings with him. I think he brings some baggage that will distract from anything he tries to do, unless the midterm elections are a bloodbath for Democrats, which that may well be too. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Before I do that, good morning to Tex AG, dun 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 007. Also, good morning, 3-4 Shioda and my bud Cannon Hotep. Hello, my brother. Nice to see you. All right. So anyway, I did put this up here. This Concerned Parents article we read the other day, and here's the letter. I was looking for this. I'll have it in today's show. That letter from the National School Board Association, aka a pile of crap. Anyway. All right, let's move on. Everything's going to be a hodgepodge today. There's no theme beyond that first thing there. Also, good morning, Brent Hayes. I don't disagree, but has the balls. He's definitely got the balls. He don't care. DeSantis and Paul should run together. Don't care which way. I'd be happy. I'd be on board for that too. Wouldn't that be something? Rand Paul and DeSantis. I guess I wouldn't care which way, but oh boy, that'd be something else, wouldn't it? Because they just ain't gonna take no shit. And I think Paul would help DeSantis as far as being an insider, and DeSantis is probably one of the great. If you want someone to hold a press conference and have just facts inside his head, just almost from memory, DeSantis, there's no one better than DeSantis. He's amazing in interviews. Anyway, all right, let's go on here. So I laughed at a tweet by NBC this morning because, where's the tweet? I don't have the tweet. Anyway, So NBC puts out this article, and the way they head it is incredible. Now, in fact, if you want to put together a narrative, this is the most incredible way to do it. So Kyle Rittenhouse was in a hearing, I believe, yesterday. And here's how they framed the defense's argument about whether or not they should drop the weapons charge against Kyle Rittenhouse. Hunting laws allowed Kyle Rittenhouse to carry a weapon during a fatal shooting in Wisconsin, lawyers say. Now, the lawyers weren't necessarily saying that it's hunting laws, and so the prosecutor got a nice little rib in by saying prosecutor Thomas Binger dismissed the defense argument, saying that Rittenhouse's attorney should just tell the jury he was hunting in the streets of Kenosha. It's clearly an inflammatory headline from a news perspective. If you want to continue a narrative for a certain side, if you're taking a side as a news organization, there's no better headline than this. Okay, but let's go into this because I want to talk about a little bit the article they put out here because it's fascinating. So, and there's little tweaks in here. You go, oh, see, they wrote this in a way to push the public in a direction rather than just reporting. Attorneys for Kyle Rittenhouse, who is charged with fatally shooting 2 people during a protest in Wisconsin last year, argued that hunting laws allowed him to carry the assault-style weapon. Again, it's a rifle. Okay, it's a rifle. Assault-style weapon, again, is one of those flash words that they want you to hear. They want you to hear assault-style weapon used during the shootings. Now, it says here, Wisconsin law prohibits anyone under 18 from being armed, but Rittenhouse's attorney argued that the state laws only forbid minors to carry short-barreled rifles and shotguns. Okay, that is true. That is the law in Wisconsin. Okay, the other prohibitions pertaining to children fall under hunting laws, which say children under age 12 can't hunt with guns. Rittenhouse attorney said at a hearing Tuesday. So notice, listen to the wording this again because it's kind of important how they argued it and how it's being set up by the media and by the prosecutors. Wisconsin law prohibits anyone under 18 from being armed, but Rittenhouse attorney argued that state laws only forbid minors to carry short-barreled rifles and shotguns. First of all, Wisconsin law does not prohibit anyone from under 18 from being armed because the law specifically states that kids 12 and over, can carry rifles as long as they are not short-barrel rifles or shotguns. They can carry hunting or single-shot rifles, which, even if it was an AR-15, an AR-15 falls into that category. It was not a short-barreled rifle. Okay? Now, whether it's hunting, it's a possession law. Period. They cannot purchase them, but they can possess them. That is the law. But they say their framing of this is Wisconsin law prohibits anyone under 18 from being armed. Well, that is false. There are provisions in the law for people under 18 to carry long-barreled rifles. Then they follow it up with, and so Rittenhouse attorney argued that state laws only forbid minors to carry short-barreled rifles and shotguns. I'm not sure about pistols. I don't know if minors can carry pistols in Wisconsin either, but they can carry long-barreled rifles, which is what Kyle Rittenhouse was here. Now, and then they say, the other provisions pertaining to children fall under hunting laws, which say children under 12 can't hunt with guns. That is part of the hunting law. Now, Rittenhouse, and they love to put the fact that he's from Antioch, Illinois, never ever mentioning that Antioch, Illinois and Kenosha are border towns between Illinois and Wisconsin. Kyle Rittenhouse lives 11 miles from Kenosha, Wisconsin, where he works as a lifeguard at the local pool. They never mention that. They like to say, oh, he crossed state lines. And there's still people who say that he crossed state lines with the weapon, which he did not do that either. Anyway, Rittenhouse of Antioch, Illinois was 17 on August 25th, 2020, when he fatally shot 2 men and wounded another man while carrying an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle at a protest prompted by a police shooting of a black man, prosecutors have said. There appears to be an exception for 17-year-old's defense attorney Corey Shirafisi said, the Chicago Times reported. Now I also have, I'll have both the Chicago Times article up too. We're not going to go through that one. Now, Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger responded that if the defense wants to tell a jury that Rittenhouse was only hunting, it should do so. Oh, isn't that special? We know that he wasn't hunting, but he continues, quote, they could submit evidence that the defendant had a certificate to hunt and that he was engaged in legal hunting on the streets of Kenosha that night, Binger said, according to the newspaper. Now, there's several different lawyers on YouTube you can go to and listen to that, because these laws they don't really say anything about hunting. They just say about possession of weapons, but they call it hunting laws. Binger declined to comment Wednesday. Shirafisi could not be immediately reached for comment. Rittenhouse is charged with homicide, attempted homicide, and being a minor in possession of a firearm. Kenosha County Circuit Judge Bruce Schroeder denied a defense motion to drop the weapons possession charge, saying that state statutes were unclear and that he wanted to review the laws and could revisit the matter later. So he's going to go in and research the section of the law that they brought up. On the night, now here's where they love tweaking the narrative, because they want emotion from you. Okay, real quick, thank you, Baby Vazo, for another bullet in the sponsor jar there. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show again. Who says Candace Owens, get off my screen, Candace Owens. Candace Owens recently asked Trump if he ran, if she should be his VP. It was really cute. Would this be a good optics for any Republican running? She's true black, unlike Obama and Hyena, and she's tough. Would help against leftist slander moms. No, she would not help against leftist slander moms. And I think she would be. I can appreciate Candace Owens to a point, but my problem with Candace is, despite her melanated skin, she doesn't necessarily bring a lot of competence to other melanated conservatives, okay? Conservatives who've been in the game for long. Now, I don't dislike Candace. I just think she is more in it for the fame and perhaps the fortune. But I don't feel like first of all, I would never want to see her in a debate. Even though although she has gotten better, let me be honest about this. She has gotten better. I saw her do one of her TV shows. I watched the one where she was with, what's that dude from, I want to say from Rutgers, not Eric Dyson, but Mark Lamont Hill. She had a really good, sorry, I glanced down and saw Lord Stanhope's comment that Candace belongs nowhere near. Oh no, Candace looks good in night tight pants, not much else. No, I watched a debate she had with Mark Lamont Hill. She did a great job, but I don't need her in a political office, because I just don't think first of all, she relies way too much on talking points. I'm still not 100% convinced that she is. I'm not convinced she's real. The whole Brexit thing, that was That was almost a AstroTurf campaign, I gotta tell you. And she has, I granted, she has a lot of supporters. I think she'd be better off just continuing to do what she does, promoting what she can with her talking points, and have some real politicians in there. I don't think she'd be a good vice president at all. Okay, so there you go. I really don't get people saying she's in it for the fame, money. She's put herself at the front line. So what? When has making money been anti-conservative? Okay, I'm not saying that that's anti-conservative. There's plenty of conservatives who make money. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not convinced. Look, here's the other part. Okay, let's say Candace Owens is Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate. Now, Donald Trump run multi-million-dollar businesses, whatever, right? And his experience in business, maybe, and the tax code especially, has made him a good president, and he ran things. I'm not convinced that if Donald Trump croaked the second day in office, that Candace Owens would be able to do anything. I'm just not convinced. I like her. I like the things she says because she says the right thing. I just never have felt that she's genuine. So anyway, I don't think she should be a vice president. Let's just put it that way. Oh, there you go. You too. She's simply a pundit. Pretty much. Yeah, I'm not sure that she has the chops. Now, I would not argue if she ran for a state office, local office where she lives, or even possibly Congress. Hell, if AOC can do it, so can Candace. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious if Candace Owens got into Congress and got to argue with AOC all the time. That would, oh my gosh, that would be beautiful. I'm just saying, that would be beautiful. But no, I don't think she'd be a good vice president candidate. Anyway, thank you again for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciate Baby Bossa. All right. Now let's go look how they framed this. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Let me show you how they framed this, because how they keep it's a narrative, and it's very subtle how they do this. On the night of the deadly shootings, that's an emotion right there. The night of the deadly shootings. Kenosha's was in the throes of several nights of chaotic protests after a white police officer shot Jacob Blake in the back during a domestic disturbance. Blake was paralyzed below his waist. Really? Is that how they describe it? That a white police officer shot Jacob Blake in the back during a domestic disturbance. Is that how it happened? During the domestic disturbance is when Jacob Blake was shot in the back? Now, I mean, if you want to go back and... Holy shit. Anyway, Rittenhouse's trial is scheduled to begin November 1st. The high-profile case is considered to be a touchstone of the summer of protest in 2020 after George Floyd's death in Minneapolis police custody. I'm surprised they didn't say George Floyd, a black man who was murdered by a white police officer, because they just want to stir shit up all the time. Did anyone not know that Jacob Blake was a black man, where they had to put it up here? Does anyone not know that a white police officer? Again, it's just they love to push that narrative. Rittenhouse's case has proved polarizing. Some conservative and advocates of gun rights have hailed him for standing up to protesters. Wow, is that what we've done? We've hailed him for standing up to protesters? Or are we just saying that in this case, the the white man that he killed, the first white man, was grabbing his gun and he got killed in self-defense. The two other guys that got shot, one who died, were attacking him while he was on the ground, got killed because of self-defense. I don't care if he was standing up to protesters. He was protecting a business with one of his friends. I haven't hailed him. I just said he's there protecting a business. Nobody's hailing him. But it was, if you watch the videos that are readily available, or at least they were, I don't know if YouTube took them down yet, clearly it was self-defense. If someone's grabbing the barrel of your gun trying to attack you and the gun goes off like the first idiot did, that's pretty much self-defense. There's video of it, and I don't know why they're saying it's funny. Well, I'll get to this in a minute because there's something in this article that is new information that you may not have heard yet. His supporters raised $2 million for his bail in November. Critics have called him a domestic terrorist who aggravated a volatile moment while acting as a vigilante. Rittenhouse left his home and traveled to the Kenosha protest after a local militia. Again, they're invoking things that didn't happen as far as Kyle. Yes, those two things may have been correct, but that's not how Kyle Rittenhouse ended up in Kenosha, okay? He works in Kenosha. He worked in Kenosha that day. One of his friends said that they're going to go help protect one of the businesses. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't, but they're trying to tie Kyle Rittenhouse to a local militia. Traveled to the Kenosha protest after a local militia posted an online message seeking help protecting businesses from demonstrators. Prosecutors said. Oh, that's what the prosecutors said. Now, there's evidence that he worked in town that day. I don't know if he went home and came back, but anyway, one of his friends said they were going to go help protect the business. Rittenhouse fatally shot Joseph Rosenbaum in a parking lot of a used car dealership. Moments later, he fatally shot Anthony Huber. And seconds later, he shot and wounded Gage Groscrews, prosecutors said. Okay, that's prosecutors' words. Notice that as they write this, they're only using the prosecutor's account. They use it first because that's what they want you to read first. They don't want to tell you that Rosenbaum was attacking him. Maybe they don't want to influence the public opinion. I don't know. And then when they say moments later he fatally shot Anthony Huber and seconds later he shot Gage Groscrews. Well, moments later, this is after he was running away from people, right? He was retreating. He was retreating from Rosenbaum when Rosenbaum caught up to him. Wait, there's a little clip in this. There's a little blurb in this article that is going to be very interesting how they bring this out. Also Tuesday, John Black, who Rittenhouse's attorney said is a use of force expert, spoke about how Rittenhouse used self-defense in the shootings. Black testified that video shows Rosenbaum chasing Rittenhouse and reaching for his gun, Huber attacking Rittenhouse with a skateboard and trying to wrestle away his gun, and Groscrews running at him with a pistol in hand. Now remember that if you watch the video on that, so the last guy, Groscrews or whatever his name is, and he got shot in the shoulder or something like that, or shot in the arm, part of his arm got shot off. Groscrews not only ran up to him with a pistol, at first he walked up to him with a pistol, and Rittenhouse didn't shoot him. He did not shoot. Groscrews ran right up into his face with the pistol, but didn't point it at him, and Rittenhouse didn't shoot. Then, as he saw the rifle, he took a step away, and then he turned back again and pointed the pistol at Rittenhouse. And that is when Rittenhouse shot him. What's amazing is that they're making it sound like seconds later he just went and shot this guy. when the guy actually runs up to the gun, then steps away, and then points the gun right at Rittenhouse, and that's what Rittenhouse fired. It was amazing trigger control. As far as I'm concerned, I was shocked when I saw that video. I'm like, wow, he waited until the guy actually pointed the gun at him, but the second time before he shot. Just trigger discipline. It's amazing. Anyway, so a citizen in that, this is a quote from Black, a citizen in that position, given those indicators, would it be reasonable for them to believe they were about to be assaulted? Black said, I would argue yes. Rittenhouse attorneys want Black to testify at the trial. Schroeder refrained from a ruling on the matter Tuesday. Oh, it's in the other article here. Hang on a second. It's in the Chicago Tribune article where they said they added a detail down here at the bottom that I hadn't seen before. By the way, thank you James Colley, who says, "What's the difference?" Okay, what's the difference when a woman is amorous and hungry? Where she put the cucumber? Oh, dirty dog, James Colley. Thank you, James Colley, for sponsoring the show through YouTube Super Chats. Good Lord. All right, so here here's a detail though in the Chicago Tribune article that I didn't see in the NBC article. So now this is fascinating because usually when you have a trial like this, you can bring in expert witnesses, right? Now, okay, let's go back to this thing about how it went. So Judge Schroeder refused to dismiss the charge of the guns because he didn't feel comfortable making really a basic concept is the rule. It has to be clear to ordinary people. So that's about the gun, about him having the gun. Now, the marathon hearing, one of the last before jury selection begins November 1st, also included testimony from a defense expert hired by Rittenhouse's team. The judge had ordered John R. Black, who traditionally testifies in police shooting cases, to present his report to the court ahead of the trial. Similar to other states, Wisconsin allows people to use guns to defend themselves as serious threats, but there are exceptions to that right. This is a little bit more straightforward article. In order for Rittenhouse to legally justify killing 2 people and wounding a third, his attorneys must prove that he exhausted other chances to flee and had a reasonable fear for his safety. Okay, so I think someone grabbing the barrel of your gun may have a reasonable, anytime someone touches your weapon, you certainly have a reasonable fear for your safety, and that usually is the cut and dry version of self-defense. But anyway, Rittenhouse shot 3 people in downtown Kenosha with a rifle that police say a friend illegally purchased for him. Well, he didn't purchase it for him. It wasn't his rifle. Despite not being old enough to openly carry a gun in Wisconsin, Rittenhouse volunteered to guard a used car lot amid the turmoil surrounding the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man. Make sure they tell you again. This is the Chicago Tribune. By a white police officer in August 2020. They cannot, for whatever reason, they feel they absolutely have to keep that in there, right? Real quick, thank you, Renee Mayette, also through YouTube Super Chat, who says, what do blondes and screen doors have in common? The more you slam them, the looser they get. Oh. Thank you, Renee. Okay, it's joke time, people. Oh my goodness. Anyway, now, in a preview of Rittenhouse's defense, Black, the expert on use of force, testified that each time Rittenhouse pulled the trigger, he was doing so to protect himself and stop his gun from being taken. There's video evidence of this, but there's an interesting claim at the end of this article. We'll get to it. Black says his findings are all predicated on his belief that each person Rittenhouse shot wanted to take away his gun. Video from that night shows several people trying to disarm Rittenhouse after he fatally shot Joseph Rosenbaum and ran away from the scene, but there's no clear image of an unarmed Rosenbaum trying to take the rifle. There actually is video, and what they're saying is, that the video that they have of someone trying to take the rifle, grabbing the rifle, grabbing the rifle, the end of the rifle, they're saying that that's not a clear image of Rosenbaum, but clearly if you watch that video, that's who got shot. So I'm not sure how they can say it's not a clear image. Anyway, so real quick, thank you, Cryptic. Oh wait, did I miss somebody here? No, okay. Hello, Cryptic, thank you, and I am glad you're here. Who says, with a bullet, and thank you for sponsoring the show. Biden went to a dementia support group and was the only one that showed up. I guess he forgot it was tomorrow. Oh. Thank you, Cryptic, for sponsoring the show. Keep the jokes coming, people. I will read all the jokes. All right. So this guy, Black, who's the defense expert, I do believe Rittenhouse's actions were reasonably necessary, he said. Now, Black says, okay, I already said that. Schroeder, the judge, has signaled he could limit Black's testimony, most likely barring him from explaining Wisconsin self-defense law to the jury. The judge is to expect his decision later this month. Quote, when it comes to use of force, I am the expert, Schroeder, the judge said at a previous hearing. I'm the only one who's going to be defining what is reasonable under the law, what constitutes self-defense. I'm not going to have a competition in the courtroom. So he's going to limit the defense's attempt to interpret the self-defense laws. Now, defense attorneys argue Rittenhouse acted in self-defense that night after being chased by Rosenbaum, the man he fatally shot, without, and then they say, this is the Chicago Tribune, without offering any evidence. They told Schroeder last month that Rosenbaum, a convicted sex offender who had recently been institutionalized, had been chasing Rittenhouse because he couldn't purchase his own gun with a criminal record and wanted to steal the teen's assault rifle. Now, I doubt if they have any evidence of that. I think that Rosenbaum was just chasing him because he was wanting to beat somebody up, and Kyle looked like a good subject. I don't know where they came up with that idea. Anyway, after shooting Rosenbaum, Ritten ran down the street before tripping and falling. Now, this is amazing, too. He didn't just run down the street, okay? After shooting Rosenbaum, Rittenhouse ran down the street before tripping and falling. He was being chased down the street. He was being chased. People were yelling at him and chasing him. It's amazing. He was retreating from the mob who was chasing him. It's amazing. Good morning, Truck and Bear. Nice to see you. It's been a while. Also, Spud Gun. Good morning. After shooting Rosenbaum, Rittenhouse just ran down the street before tripping and falling. While on the ground, Rittenhouse shot two men who approached him to seemingly take his gun. What? This is amazing. The judge is right. He's the only one who gets to instruct the jury. But if you're describing an act of self-defense, he didn't need to necessarily instruct the jury what self-defense is, but you can certainly use the law and try to define it as you're describing what is happening. They don't need to instruct the jury. You know what? In the O.J. Simpson trial, Johnny Cochran said, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's instructing the jury. So, I mean, this is a semantic argument by the judge, but it's like, of course, in their summary, in their argument, they can certainly refer to the law, what does it says, and say, okay, here's what happened. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. Okay, After the so this is so funny. While on the ground, he shot two men who approached him to seemingly take his gun away. Anthony Huber died from a single gunshot wound while Gage Cruz was hit in the arm and survived. It's so funny how they write this, though. There's video. He didn't just randomly, while on the ground, he shot two men who approached him. Is that how it happened? Okay. The first man who approached him on video attacked him with a skateboard and tried to grab the gun. That's when Rittenhouse shot him. The second man who ran up to him, he didn't shoot him as he approached. The man approached him. He had a pistol in his hand, didn't point it directly at Rittenhouse. The man turned away and then turned back and pointed the pistol at Rittenhouse, and that's when Rittenhouse fired. It will be crystal clear from the video that they show in this trial. And I've seen the videos over and over again. Amazing. Now, they continue. This is the part where I need to read, though. Self-defense cases are always arduous undertakings, but the task could be even more difficult for Rittenhouse's attorneys after prosecutors disclosed last month, now I don't know where they got this from, that the FBI has images showing Rittenhouse was the one who initially followed Rosenbaum. Wow, this is new information. As the two reached the car lot where the shooting occurred, Rittenhouse said something to Rosenbaum, who then turned around and started to chase Rittenhouse, prosecutors said. Wait a minute. So, if you say something to somebody and then they chase you to attack you, does that mean you're no longer allowed to defend yourself because you said something to them? Now, remember what happened during this. So Rosenbaum set a dumpster on fire. Rosenbaum and his cohorts that were in front of this auto lot, gas station, whatever it was. Rittenhouse ran up and had it with a fire extinguisher, right? And I don't know, he didn't put the fire out, but he gave the fire extinguisher to somebody who put it out. And that's when the confrontation between Rosenbaum and Rittenhouse began. Okay, and I don't know if there are words between them or not, but Rosenbaum chased him. Even the prosecutor says, who then turned around and started to chase Rittenhouse. The recording was captured by infrared camera attached to an FBI fixed-wing aircraft that was monitoring the city during the unrest. So, if Rosenbaum was chasing Rittenhouse and caught up to him and grabbed the barrel of his rifle and was trying to take it away, most states, that's automatically self-defense. If you touch the rifle, the barrel of someone's rifle, they're trying to grab it. Anyway, the video has not been made public, so the Tribune cannot independently verify what the recording shows. So the article for that is also linked here. In this article that Judge bars evidence connecting teen to Proud Boys during trial. Yeah, that's another thing. They're trying to connect him to the Proud Boys. As if whatever. Anyway, so that is your second pile of BS for the day. By the way, thank you everyone who's here. Just a reminder, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button and let me know that you like me. You really like me. And then also you can share the stream anytime before, during, and after the stream, and also sponsor the show through Streamlabs or YouTube Super Chats or a couple other options that are in the description down below. Spud Gun, there is a fighting words doctrine. It depends on what was said. If he said, "Oi, dickhead, why did you set the bin on fire?" that would fall outside the realm of fighting words. Yeah, did he yell? Did someone yell at him for bringing a fire extinguisher? He yelled back at them and started that way, and then the guy started chasing him. Now, the other thing the prosecutor said there that I think is key, and I'm going to say it again. Okay, so let's say that Rittenhouse did. The FBI says image showing Rittenhouse was the one who initially followed Rosenbaum. Let's say that is true. The next sentence that the prosecutor says is clearly Rittenhouse retreating. As the two reached the car lot where the shooting occurred, Rittenhouse said something to Rosenbaum, who then turned around and started to chase Rittenhouse. In order to chase somebody, that somebody you're chasing would probably be doing what? Retreating. And that's what's required. Anyway, real quick, thank you, Cryptic, with the YouTube Super Chat. Ain't that some proverbial fecal matter material? I love revisionist history. Yeah, it really is. It really is crazy. I don't know. Anyway, that I'll probably get the notification for that. I saw it ahead of time. Anyway, unbelievable. All right, let's get into some other tabs that I have here. Here's a. This is fascinating.
I could be brown. I could be blue.
I don't know if I want to play this music because it is on. I'm going to do this with the mute, but this is an interesting. This is a TikTok video, a dancing nurse on TikTok. But this is the kind of dancing nurse that we actually want to see. Let's put it on the screen here. So there's music behind it, but I'm going to leave my music going. It says, spent 4 years in undergraduate school studying health sciences. Went to graduate school and endured a rigorous 2-year accelerated Masters of Nursing program, became an ICU nurse and treated COVID-19 patients for 19 months. In 2020, we used N95 masks and gowns. During that time, I cared for your grandmother, sister, brother, son, and mother. I sacrificed holidays, weekends, time, sleep, and events with my family to be there for yours. As of October 1st, 2021, I was suspended. On November 1st, 2021, I will be terminated because I chose not to get the shot. Despite all this, my faith will endure, and I will continue to fight. Oops, hang on. I will continue to fight for my medical freedom. Please know I will be back doing what I love most. More power to this woman, and I wish her well. All right, let's see. Let's move on here. All kinds of stuff coming up here. Let's see. What do I already have open? Let's go here. Oh, by the way, real quick. Oh, someone. By the way, thank you, Somnambule Nation. Thank you, Nobody Not Me, and thank you, Tyler F, for all supporting the show by retweeting or posting the show on your favorite social media. It's funny, there were people trying to kill him. One pulled a pistol, later regretted not pulling the trigger. Yeah, that guy with the pistol said he regretted not pulling the trigger. Good morning, Mac Pete. Nice to see you. All right, let's get back into my bookmarks here, and I'll find. Let's see. Let me get this list in the right order. So, let's see. Let's start with. Rand Paul on this. Rand Paul tells Americans to be afraid. That's not exactly what you think, though. So, and it's amid the Department of Justice school threat policy. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky said Wednesday that Americans should be afraid of your government after Attorney General Merrick Garland announced that the FBI would probe a purported spike in threats to local school officials amid protests over mask mandates and the addition of critical race theory to curricula. Moms at school boards are being told that they're criminals, potential domestic terrorists for the crime of dissent. You shall comply. Paul told Fox News Primetime, and I think criminalizing dissent is something we should all be appalled with. True. When host Ben Domenech asked Paul what he would say to Americans who are worried that if they go to their local school board and say the wrong thing, they're going to end up in some list that Merrick Garland goes after, the senator answered in no uncertain terms. I would say, be afraid of your government, Paul said. Yeah, I have a different term for it. It's a sad thing from someone in the government to say, but the thing is those lists already exist. For example, people in Northern Virginia that have gone to protest have been sought out by the school council, by members of the school board, and retaliated against in a sort of legalistic way to try to put some of them on some sort of list and chill their speech by letting them know there will be a penalty for showing up and protesting. Garland's Monday announcement followed a letter to President Biden from the National School Boards Association, who claimed that America's public schools and its education leaders are under an immediate threat, and asked for the White House to consider investigating threats against school administrators and staff using tools provided by a variety of legislation, including the 9/11 Patriot Act. Yes, parents are terrorists for voicing their opinions. Real quick, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
For sponsoring the show with a bullet, who says, are they championing the pedo who said, yeah, the white guy who said, shoot me, nigga, shoot me. I didn't hear anyone complaining about him. Did you? You know what? I'm wondering. I never heard, because it was clear as day, the video, that he said that. And I didn't hear anybody complaining about the white guy using the N-word, because, he was using it kind of as in a colloquial way that, the brothers use it, but he's a white guy. No one complained about that guy using the N-word. And so you would think that a bunch of black people would be like, oh, well, he's used that word. It's okay if Kyle shot him because he's an asshole. But they didn't do that. I don't know why. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you. Anyway, so Rand Paul says, you should be afraid if the government's going to put, listen to the agencies that Merrick Garland is putting on this thing that the National School Board Association asking you to do. They're talking about the Department of Justice, the FBI, Homeland Security, these other, government legal task force. Are you kidding me? Because some parents are complaining at a school board meeting. Oh, they're white nationalists. They're white supremacists. They use every buzzword to smear these parents, and it's really ridiculous. All right, let's keep going here. This one's kind of humorous. So Joe Biden said something the other day when he had another, I don't know what he calls it, another speech about the stupid 19, right? And he said something that, frankly,
still not there.
Hang on a second. Let me.
We have to beat this.
Listen to what Joe Biden says here, and ask yourself: is this true? Is what Joe Biden's? I know it's a silly question. Is what Joe Biden's saying here true? I'm going to turn it up so you can hear it. Listen to Joe Biden right here.
Still had more than a quarter of the people in the United States who were eligible for vaccinations but didn't get the shot. And we know there is no other way to beat the pandemic than to get the vast majority of Americans vaccinated. It's as simple as that. And to spread to our children, to spread throughout society, our hospitals, or the risk of other variants, it's all dangerous and obvious, but we're still not there. We have to beat this thing. So while I didn't race to do it right away, that's why I've had to move toward requirements that everyone get vaccinated where I had the authority to do that. That wasn't my first instinct. My administration is now requiring federal workers to be vaccinated. We've also required federal contractors to be vaccinated. If you have a contract with the federal government working for the federal government, you have to be vaccinated. We're requiring active duty military to be vaccinated. We're making sure healthcare workers are vaccinated, because if you seek care at a healthcare facility, you should have the certainty that the people providing that care are protected from COVID and cannot spread it to you.
What was that? What was that line? What was that last line that he said?
Certainty that the people providing that care are protected from care at a healthcare facility. You should have the certainty that the people providing that care are protected from COVID and cannot spread it to you.
Certainty. Wait a minute. So did he just say, if you are a healthcare worker and you're vaccinated, or the people that you go to seek healthcare from, that if they're vaccinated, you have certainty that they will be protected and will not spread the stupid 19? Is that a fact? Now, someone else here said, where's the misinfo warning on this BS? Regardless of a person's vax status, you have absolutely zero certainty that they can't pass stupid 19 onto you. I don't like... Wait a minute. President Biden, on enacting the mandates, we're making sure healthcare workers are vaccinated because if you seek care at a healthcare facility, you should have the certainty that people providing that care are protected from stupid 19 and cannot spread it to you. Well, that's weird because we just saw the results in the state of Vermont where 72% of the September COVID endings were people who are fully vaccinated. Wow, that's fascinating. I didn't think you could get it if you're fully vaccinated. That's what Joe Biden just said. But 72% of the people who've passed in Vermont from stupid 19 in September were fully vaccinated. How could that be? Certainty that people providing that care are protected from stupid 19 and cannot spread it to you. That's weird. That is so strange. I'm just curious. Anyway, so I will leave that in the. I'll leave that. I'll have that in the tabs today. Let's keep going here. Back to more book. Oops, wait. Let me put that one on one so it's there. Now we'll go back to bookmarks. I've got more. I don't have much time, but I do have more. I'll get to as many as I can today. And today I'll only put the ones up that I get to because there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Let's see, what's the next one here? I don't have them mapped out as well. Oh, this is interesting. So this is the Hill today. And in some ways, I kind of slightly agree with this because I think DeSantis is maybe pushing limits here that maybe he shouldn't. But here's the article. Now this says we are all paying for DeSantis' defiance of the First Amendment. Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is an attorney. He should know at least the rudiments of the U.S. Constitution. And then this is an anti-DeSantis hit piece, by the way. The rudiments of the Constitution. Then why would he propose an extremist? Okay, got to use that emotional wording. Extremist law that is so obviously unconstitutional, get his allies to push it through the Florida legislature, and now announce that he will defend it in the federal appeals court after a judge slapped it down, all at a taxpayer's expense. Just how wrong-headed and illegal DeSantis' HB1 anti-protest law was laid out on September 9th by U.S. District Court Judge Mark Walker. Walker blocked a major provision of the law, not all of it, just a provision of it, and along the way gave the governor a refresher course on the Constitution. DeSantis first approached HB1 in 2020 after the murder of George Floyd by a policeman in Minneapolis and the subsequent rallies calling for racial justice for Black lives. The overwhelming majority of protests in Florida were peaceful. DeSantis responded, well, maybe we're worried about the 7 to 10% that weren't peaceful. How's that sound? Can we talk about the destruction and violence that happened at the protest? Yes, a majority of the protesters on January 6th at the United States Capitol were peaceful, but you seem to not be able to distinguish that part. So shut the fuck up with this peaceful bullshit. Anyway, DeSantis responded by not by proposing legislation to address police brutality, but but with a bill aimed at stifling peaceful and totally legal protests in Florida. Is that what it was? Oh, especially by black people. Oh, so this only applied to black people. Okay, I see where we're going here. DeSantis was sued over the law by Dream Defenders and other black-led organizations. HB1 attempts to violate basic freedoms by redefining the word riot in Florida statutes. Before HB1 to be charged with rioting, 3 or more people had to act with common intent to breach the peace in a violent manner. Okay. HB1's new riot definition is so vague and overboard that it allows police to arrest a person for rioting if they simply are present at an event where 3 or more people assist each other in violent or disorderly conduct resulting in actual or imminent danger of injury to another person or damage to property. Not sure what the distinction here. In other words, a person participating peacefully in a rally could be charged with a felony if 3 perfect strangers in the crowd turn violent. Could they, though? Could they fight it, maybe? I don't know. They could very well be strangers who oppose the cause in question, infiltrate the rally, and commit an act of violence. Oh, they're saying that only because only infiltrators could do it. I got it. They could infiltrate the rally and commit an act of violence, purposely causing all the innocent protesters to be hauled off to jail. Yeah, I'm sure that's what was going to happen. I'm sure the police are just going to haul off everybody in jail who's not doing anything violent or illegal, right? That's exactly what they're doing. Good morning, Debbie. How you doing? Such a possibility would certainly dampen the willingness of many Floridians to exercise the constitutionally guaranteed right to protest, which was the idea in the first place. In his ruling, Walker foresees the obvious dangers. Now, that's interesting because do you think that they were going to stop protesting because of some law? Do you really think so? And how many people are they actually? Maybe in Florida they actually arrest people who riot? I don't know. Maybe I certainly didn't see that in other places. So the judge said if this court does not enjoin the statute's enforcement, the lawless actions of a few rogue individuals could effectively criminalize the protected speech of hundreds, if not thousands, of law-abiding Floridians, he wrote. This violates the First Amendment. Interesting. So they would be able to... you would think they would have to have probable cause for the peaceful demonstrators, though, right? Anyway, Walker ruled that HB1 is so vague and so overboard that it makes it unclear what it means to participate in a riot, and therefore also violates the Due Process Clause of the Fourth Amendment. The vagueness of this definition of rioting forces would-be protesters to make a choice between declining to jointly express their views with others or risk being arrested and spending time behind bars with the associated collateral risk to employment and financial well-being, Walker wrote. Isn't that a risk anyway? At protest? Maybe I'm missing something. HB1's new definition of riot both fails to put Floridians out of ordinary intelligence on notice of what acts it criminalizes and encourages arbitrary and discriminatory enforcement. Really, does it? Does it encourage arbitrary and discriminatory enforcement? How so? Making this provision vague to the point of unconstitutionality, he added. Its vagueness permits those in power to weaponize its enforcement against any group who wishes to express any message that the government disapproves of. You mean like the protesting at a school board meeting? That's going to be interesting. I'd like to juxtapose that to what they do from the Justice Department in school board meetings. I'm just curious. Oh, that's right. If you label them domestic terrorists, then you can do whatever you want under the Patriot Act. Oh, there you go. Anyway, if you want to read the rest of this crap, that's not the part that I was worried about. But anyway, it'll be interesting. Oh, and the writer of this is guess who wrote this, by the way? Guess who wrote this? The author's name is Micah Kubik. Michael Kubik is the executive director of the ACLU of Florida. Oh, the Hill. At least did they make this an opinion piece? Yeah, they said opinion contributor. So I don't think they clearly labeled this as opinion, but it is clearly an opinion, and he's an opinion contributor. Oh, yeah. The ACLU, they're so good at getting to the crux of the legal issues behind most laws, and they're always so fair, and they try to balance the right of the public to everything else. And gee, if it was FTG, you might as well just throw an FTG out for that one. All right. I'm running out of time. Let's see. Which one? There's one more. There's one more that I want to get to for sure, and we'll do that next. Oh, by the way, the family of the suspected Texas shooter says the teen was bullied for fancy clothes and his $35,000 car. So they posted bail for this kid, which, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm surprised that a school shooter was able to post bail for anything, but that is the law, and they didn't do it improperly. But I'm shocked. I'm just shocked that they did bail for a school shooter. But sometimes you just gotta wonder. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just not gonna say it. Anyway, let's go. Here's the one I wanted to show you. So, I have several of these, but this one in particular I found greatly humorous. So, MSNBC is warning that parents who are pushing back against some of the things that are happening in their school, well, this person says that they are, well, let me just say that these parents are mentally ill and they're white nationalists. We'll finish with this one. To the radical left and the Biden administration, parents concerned about their children's welfare are domestic terrorists who need to be monitored by the FBI. The media not only approve of this madness, but endorse and promote it on national television. On MSNBC's Deadline White House Tuesday, guest host Jason Johnson and MSNBC regulars Clint Watts and Joyce Vance warned viewers to be very afraid of parent protesters, declared they were inspired by racism. And conspiracy theories and perhaps even mental illness. Here it is. This is great.
In a version of America where school board meetings have become the cultural battlegrounds.
Let me turn the music down for a second or pause the music here. This is precious. Listen to this. Well, we're going to finish with this and call it a day. Let's put it out so you can see it a little better. There we go. Here we go.
Version of America where school board meetings have become the new culture war battlegrounds, with children caught in the crosshairs, sometimes literally and sometimes figuratively.
What? With children caught in the crosshairs, and he says sometimes figuratively and sometimes literally. But hang on a second. No. The children aren't being caught in the crosshairs. The school boards and the teachers' unions are the ones who we're focused on what we want our children to learn. Which I'd be really happy if little Johnny and little Betty Joe were reading math, and reading and writing, and how to, maybe fix a flat tire. But I digress.
After the National School Boards Association had to ask the president for help investigating and stopping threats over policies like mask mandates.
Oh, they had to ask for that help. Did they now? Now, we already know now, as we're seeing, there's a little bit of coordination somewhere, because that letter just sounded so contrived. Remember that? And the letter's in the tabs today, so you can go back and look at that letter. It was so contrived.
Attorney General Merrick Garland is stepping in, marshaling the FBI in response to what he called a, quote, disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence.
Harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence. I still haven't seen it. And in fact, they even said there was violence. But the violence, I guess, is when you disagree with the narrative or the school board's directive. Then it's violence for you when you disagree. That's violence. You know what I'm saying?
Garland directing federal authorities to hold strategy sessions in the next 30 days with law enforcement to confront the scourge. Joyce Vance, former U.S. attorney and now law professor at the University of Alabama and an MSNBC legal analyst, is here.
He said,
lucky for us,
the scourge.
Clint Watts is also back. Clint, I got to start with this. To me, this sort of rise in violence that we're seeing in schools.
Now, notice how he jumped. He jumped from what he said earlier, threats of violence, directly to this rise in violence. Where's the violence? Anyone want to tell me where the violence is? Besides that school shooter in Texas, anyone want to tell me where the violence is in these school board meetings, other than when they force people out of the meetings? This rise in violence. What the actual hell is he talking about? This rise in violence. Here he is again.
Sort of rise in violence that we're seeing in schools.
We're seeing in schools. This rise in violence we're seeing in schools. Really? These are school board meetings. These aren't even in the schools. This is a school board meeting where people are asking their school boards to be responsive to the wants and wishes of the parents. That's what they're there for. That's what they're like. They're supposed to represent. The school board is supposed to represent the parents for what's best for the kids. What rise in violence are you talking about?
Of a rise in violence that we're seeing all over the country. We're seeing it in schools. We're seeing it in grocery stores. We're seeing it on airplanes. To me, is this really about people being upset about mask mandates, or are there sort of underlying disruptive forces, white nationalists, anarchists, whatever in this country that are using mask mandates and a public health crisis to sort of wage chaos?
Well, thank you for leading him to the question that you want him to answer the way you want him to answer it. It's funny. That's a really, really just, it's one of those, when it's like an underhanded pitch to an agenda, isn't it? What a question. What an amazing question.
Jason, a year ago, I think we started talking about mobilizations to polling places, and primarily we were worried about local.
Now he's bringing this straight to the election. Mobilization to polling places, people watching polls. He's making this a political thing.
Polling locations, and we did see sort of vigilante poll monitoring service after the election. We saw people show up at election recounts, and that's only continued for about 10 months now, and it really encapsulates every single issue. It is.
Oh my gosh, people are concerned about their democracy. This is this is that democracy you're trying to save, but these people keep showing up, and oh my God, they might be white nationalists. Oh.
It's mask, it is vaccines, it's vaccine mandates. It is anything involving the local level. And if I can say anything since January 6th is the protests.
Oh, he had to bring in January 6th. Oh, see, now wait a minute. Was that the only protest in the last 2 years, January 6th? And that turned into a little bit of a riot when then those idiots, they should be prosecuted for the stupid shit that people did, but not everybody, because it was a mostly peaceful protest. It was a 99% peaceful protest. Yes, maybe 1% of the people actually did anything wrong there, but 99% is mostly peaceful, right?
And the mobilizations to violence have gone from national to local.
And I'm old enough to remember where the only thing you really had to worry about in an academic environment was a mass shooter, which is bad enough as it is. But
really? Because that's, those are man-bite dog events too, right? Those are, even though they all make national news, every single one of them makes national news, they are extremely rare events. But anyway, what a douchebag. Anyway.
Speak a little bit to this idea of what does it mean that something that is generally boring and neutral, like a school board meeting, has become a locus for violence? How does that end up trickling down to what
violence are you talking about? You are making shit up. What violence? The hell are you talking about?
Is not taught and possibly trickling up to higher level educators like yourself.
Well,
and she doesn't
the
even
focus that this brings to education is something that we're not used to having. I think you're absolutely right about that, Jason. And one has to wonder how this trickles out. Will school boards become far more careful, far more hesitant to do things that are brave and bold in terms of education initiatives?
Brave and bold in terms of education initiatives. Okay, what does that mean? Oh, so we're gonna indoctrinate your kids. That's brave and bold. We're gonna indoctrinate your kids instead of just teaching them to read, write, and think for themselves. Brave and bold means teach them what we want them to be when they get out of their schools. We're gonna be brave and bold. What the fuck are you talking about? We want you to teach your kids the basics and let them learn to think for themselves. We want to teach them what they think. We want you to teach but us as parents want you to teach them to think. You want to teach them what to think.
Right now, we're talking about issues that involve school boards and how they're competing in this new marketplace of ideas that exists after the Trump administration.
New?
But that could have...
New marketplace of ideas? Is it really new? What's new about it? Oh, my God.
Far-reaching implications. It certainly has spun out in some areas with bans on teaching critical race theory, which, of course, impacts the work that both you and I do and helps us understand how policy developed in the wake of American racism and what we can do to improve policy in the future as school boards are challenged, for instance, over issues of whether critical race theory can be taught in our schools. That too becomes
Wait a minute. I thought they weren't teaching critical race theory in schools. That's fascinating. Why would you bring that up if they're not teaching it? Oh, maybe they are teaching it.
Flashpoint. And I would add to what Clint says, the fact that we're living in the middle of a perfect storm. We have not only this eruption, this not so much an eruption, but a normalization of some of the white supremacist ideology that we've seen emerging and some of the conspiracy.
Where is the white supremacist? Where is it? What'd she say?
In the middle of a perfect storm. We have not only this eruption, this not so much an eruption, but a normalization of some of the white supremacist ideology that we've seen emerge.
Where is this normalization of the white supremacist ideology? Where? Anybody? Does anybody know?
And some of the conspiracy theories that we've seen emerging. We also have a country that, to be honest, is not at its best mental health-wise 18 months into a pandemic. And those issues are crashing together now. That's very much what we're seeing. We're going to have some form of a national health restorative mission in this country.
Also known as re-education. We should have some kind of national health restorative mission. And she meant mental health. In other words, we should have some re-education, right?
To right-size things and get them back to normal.
To get them back to normal, get them to right size. Oh, I'm so glad that these are the people that are in charge of making sure that we live full and fruitful lives under the direction of under the direction of your tutelage and making sure that those normalization of white supremacist ideas just get pushed aside because, that's all we ever hear about. Boy, there is a normalization of white supremacy that it's so normalized that I feel like I am inferior to you, those of you who are not melanated like me, because the normalization has just overwhelmed me. All right, people. That's got to be it for today. Thank you. Hey, before you do anything, click the button that has a little thummy. Click that thumb thing down there, the one that's pointed upwards. Unless you're Duck Dog, you can point the one that's down. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I got to call it a day. But I hope y'all have good plans for the weekends. I know I'm excited about mine. No, I don't think we're doing a trail stop stream tomorrow, but we may bring some pictures home from the Oktoberfest we attend. And other than that, hope you guys have some plans. If you don't, make some now. Do something interesting. Go find a cool thing where you live and go do it. Don't just sit on the couch. Don't just sit there playing video games. Don't just hang out at home and mope or do yard work or clean the kitchen. Go do something fun this weekend. Just anything. Just find something that you know what? Oh, that's in my town and I've never gone and done it. Do something new this weekend. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all so much for being here. The Morning Night Live is here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT until that dreadful daylight savings time when I have no idea when if the GMT even does that. Hit the like, share the stream, sponsor the show. There's ways to do it down the description down below. Streamlabs and the other two versions are open 24 hours a day. Thank you to Renee Mayette, who says, normalize my white money through YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you sponsoring the show. And also to all our sponsors today. Let's see, Baby Vaso, Black Hebrew Israelite, Renee Mayette, Cryptic, and I think James Colley. For whatever reason, it's not showing up on this, but I know you sponsored the show today. Thank you all for sponsoring the show. Thank you, everybody who watches the show on a regular basis and participates in the chat. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you get notified for the daily show. That's it for today, people. I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.